I don't know how else to start this video other than saying, I love older women. Just like how Batman should never use guns, Spider-Man should never kill, or Superman should always try to save any living being, big or small, this is one of the core aspects of me that you should not change. And I know how much discourse this fact makes. My mom looks down on it, my comments told me to shut up, some of my cousins told me to repent to Jesus Christ, but unfortunately, just gotta let people be, because some people just can't be satisfied. I just love them way too much. I love watching mature and confident women, or when they're not, the gap of a mommy not understanding their own beauty due to their own insecurities is chef's kiss, a cute cliche I can never get over. Their life experiences can lead to more comfort, empathy, and realistic views, allowing them to provide invaluable advice and support. They are more often than not settled in their lives and careers as opposed to someone younger, possessing a stable network that can benefit you as a partner as they have more defined expectations for a relationship. Having someone with maternal instincts can give you some of the best times, especially when you are tired from a hard day's work and you just want to be enveloped in love without any of the drama that comes before it. Also, they're thick as f***. So when I read manhwas, you bet your ass that I'm going in there with the objective of reaching the MILF in the story. And if they don't have it, yeah, I ain't interested. But because of my job, I tend to read whatever that I think my viewers would be reading. Heck, it doesn't change the fact that some of my favorite manhwas of all time don't really have any mommies in it. But what is usually the case, the addition of them is always the game changer no matter what you think. I've seen the mommies elevate the quality of the manhwa. I've seen mommies leave their manhwas in stagnant, not really improving or decreasing anything about the story, because they're just there. I've also seen mommies come into a harem story and leave a mark so good that the viewers stop caring about the main heroines and just want the author to focus on the older women. That's my favorite type, by the way. But nothing, and I mean nothing, in the world can ever stay perfect. As much as you want things to stay good, eventually you're going to see the bad, and that can't be more true in the world of manhwas. You can be reading some of the most peak cinemas you've ever seen, and next thing you know, you're reading something so bad that you had to leave your room and actually touch grass for once. And it's somehow always worse, because it could also be the case of the manhwa getting axed or the author simply not giving a f*** anymore, so they rush the ending, giving an unsatisfying conclusion that ruins the past hundreds of episodes that you've read your whole life. And I might like manhwas more than mangas now, but since the beginning, there is nothing I hate more than a really, really bad manhwa. Which is why today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I've talked about mommies in praise before, but today we're going to be asking the question, what would happen if we put an S tier, primetime hot as Annie Hathaway mommy inside a manhwa that is truly, truly awful? What happens when you put the one thing that I love the most inside something that I hate the most? Would the manhwa still be readable through the quality of the mommy alone? Or would the unbearable writing start to corrupt anything that is good, including ruining the mommy through great, incredible efforts? Well, if we're going to answer that, we're gonna have to talk about the manhwa that I have recently read called Is It Your Mother or Your Sister? So the story is about a guy named Michael, who has a stepmom and her daughter, who is now his stepsister, as they became family ever since his dad got remarried. His daily life consisted of his stepmom coming to school and wowing all of his friends with how pretty she is, while his stepsister constantly protects him from being bullied as the average f***ing Lucas boss. But things suddenly took a massive change when they received an unfortunate news that his dad got involved in a car crash, and it leading to his death. Seeing Michael depressed in the funeral, his mommy comes in and comforts him the best way that she can. Along with his sister, these three knew they had to tackle these struggles together and make sure to stay as the same loving family that they've always been, as that is what his dad, who is now dead, would have wanted for all of his life. And so, he leaves to go to America. Okay. Time skip to 3 years later. Yes, he left them for 3 years right after the death of his father, and he's had a massive glow up. He towers over his mom, his muscles are very defined, his chest looks like he can hold 4 stacks of the Bible. Bro is built like the weakest character in Baki. Meanwhile, his stepmom looks exactly the same. I mean, come on, she got Asian genes. And as his sister is still away during this point in time, they decided to drink together till she falls asleep and he carries her to her bedroom. And again, Jesus Christ, look at that f***ing body! But as he's about to leave, she calls out to him, telling telling him to stay by her side. He accepts and decides to sleep right next to her. She goes for a hug, telling him how much she missed him. He accepts the hug, reassuring her that he will never leave again. Then boom, she asks him for a quick trip to Pound Town, and he's like, whoa, what? And she said nothing because she immediately started taking off his shirt, which shows that he has an 8-pack body. Jesus, did he follow the Toji workout plan or what? Anyways, the reason why she asked for some smashing is because 1, she's drunk and horny, 2, because Michelangelo looks so much like his dad now that she mistook them as the same and thought that he returned from the dead. And 3, she's drunk and horny. So he jumps off on the bed, calls her an alcoholic, and speeds out of her bedroom, which got her all sad and filled with the f me eyes because you know, she still got the major case of DNH. While Michaela, who just escaped within a hair, is in shock that he was presented an opportunity by the devil's temptations. Anyways, the very next day, they returned to being a wholesome family again. She forgot everything that happened the night before because, of course, classic manhwa cliche, and he decides to go hang out with one of his besties. Along with that, gets introduced to his bestie's girlfriend, Bona, where he, for some reason, gets rattled by her appearance, which makes you think, how intriguing. I wonder if there's some sort of history between the two. Oh yeah, and there's this other girl in the room, but she's not important to the story. So they all started partying, drinking together until it got dark and late where everybody's fallen asleep. But Nicaragua wakes up from his slumber seeing absolutely no one until he walked around to look for them and heard weird noises coming from one of the rooms and sees his bestie having a little bit of Mario Smash Bros. Session with his girlfriend. And he's like, whoa, crazy stuff. Well, none of my business. I gotta go. Wait a second. That's not his girlfriend. So remember that girl who I said wasn't gonna be important? Turns out she is still not that important, but yeah, she's a girl that the bro is banging. And then Bonnie all of a sudden comes up from behind him. Trying not to hurt her feelings, he tries to cover the act that is happening, to which he's like, oh, don't worry about it. What? Yeah, nah, I know, I don't really care. But hey, how about we do something fun together, huh? And he's like, what in the diddy freak off is happening here? So he tries to leave, to which she stops him and made him fall to the sofa. He struggles for a little bit more, but to no avail, and the whole time you're probably wondering, what is the dude's problem? Is he really resisting because that's his bro's girlfriend, even though his bro is currently cheating on said girlfriend? Or does it have something to do with why he looked at her all strangely during their first encounter? Which, by the way, what was that about? Does he actually know this girl? Do these two have some beef unbeknownst to any of us? Will it be revealed anytime soon? Well, don't you guys worry, because Manhwa decided to answer all of our questions when she takes off his clothes, which shows off his 8-pack body. He looks at her face as he gets entranced by it. They do some boning, and during that moment she asks him, do you like it? Which then gave him the flashback to when his mom asked him the same thing, do you like it? And he crashes the fuck out! What? I genuinely don't get this. Okay, so turns out the entire reason he's looked at her all weird before is because he reminded her of his mom, and when they were doing the boning, he thought, oh shit, she looks exactly like her. Which, she doesn't. So, I really don't get what he's talking about. So he leaves, tries to puke out all of the alcohol, trying to reassure himself that he is just drunk and not fantasizing about his dead dad's wife. Then he goes home, walks into another bright room in the dark, and acts like a pervert again. Come on bro, twice in one night, you gotta relax. But don't worry guys, because this time it's just his stepmom bathing, which made him go, gulp, damn. Which, I don't blame him, cause damn. But yeah, he goes to wake her up because sleeping in a bath is actually dangerous, to which he then wakes up and reassures him that everything is fine. Also, this panel is where we're going to start a point system where we award points every time she does something that makes me want to call her mommy. Back to the story, he then saw her bahonkaloo's and leaves out of the bathroom to wait for her to get dressed. And when she went outside, he asked her what happened and why she decided to get drunk and take a bath in the same time. It's almost like his previous remark of calling her an alcoholic as a joke is actually real. Has she really changed that much during the 3 years that he's gone? I mean bro, you left her when her husband just died. To which she hugs him from behind, which is reassuring him that she just did that because she got bored, which we learn again later down the line that that's not the case, but we'll save that for later. So he leaves like a tsundere, to which she smiles like a mommy. God damn it. Fast forward to a day later where he realized that he's missing his necklace while he was taking a shower. I mean, don't people usually take off their necklaces when they're showering? I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm the weird one. But then Bonna called him up saying that he forgot his necklace back at her place. So they went to meet up, she tells him to come and get it himself, and dun dun dun, it was all part of her plan to play with his Luigi. Who could have seen that coming? I mean, come on, it's been 4 chapters, you would expect there to be at least one action scene. And during that action scene, she told him that she knows he's being hesitant because there's a girl that he's in love with, and she pats him on the back, telling him that if he ever needs to relieve some stress and forget about his love, she will be right there by his side. So yada yada, session ended and he goes back home, and on the way home he finally reunites with his stepsister. Hey, I definitely didn't forget you exist. So they go home together and do some sibling stuff, drinking together, all that fun shabacle, until suddenly his best friend calls him out to meet at a club to talk about Bona. So he goes and meet him and he goes straight into his face. Hey man, did you my girlfriend? Yeah? Alright, cool, send the tapes later. Now let's celebrate! Woo! Yeah, congratulations on home wrecking your best friend's love life, McTominay. But after the party, he goes home all drunk and demands to sleep with his stepmom, to which she muddily smiles, pats him in the head, and accepts his request, plus 2 mommy points. Then the next day, they went to visit his dad's grave, and along with that, sees his previous wife's photos, aka McCulkin's mom. And seeing all of this, she stays quiet during the entire visit, as if she feels tremendous amounts of guilt for just being there. Michael notices this and reassures her that there is nothing to feel sorry for, and grabbed her by the hand to go and have some fun together. And after that, we're pretty much given a chance to watch these 2 going on a date, which is pretty sweet. I thought this is the first time the main character did something that didn't mildly piss me off. Because if there's one thing that they're doing right, it's the way that they're building up this relationship. Because a romance between a stepfamily is always a bit of a stretch, so having it be a way of comfort from guilt, plus showing a little montage of a date, makes the romance more likable. Also, look at how beautiful her smile is, plus 1 mommy points. No, McDonald's, we can't give her free mommy points just because she acted a little seductive, okay? She's drunk, it doesn't count. Oh, well, it turns out she's actually too drunk and is on the verge of throwing up. So he goes in front of her in case she falls down, and then she gives him a little peck on the lips. And, fine, plus 5 mommy points. Now this move pretty much ruined his night, because after trying so hard to deny his feelings, now he can't go to sleep because his mind is too preoccupied by the playful moment that she just inflicted on him. So he gets a major case of the trumpet horn and meets up with his best friend's girlfriend again, because remember, she likes him a lot and he needs to get rid of these worldly feelings that he's having. I guess you could say she gave him a bona. Whoa, okay, no, I'm sorry. Look, there's a reason why I made that bad joke, okay? I'm just trying to lighten up the mood. Cause this next arc is gonna be miserable. And I mean, really bad. So, after boning Bona, she starts the villain monologue about how she has an abusive dad who is keeping her in this room because she did something messed up. And then Michael Carrick asked her, what did you do that was so messed up? But she didn't answer and immediately told him to leave, like he just crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed. I mean, okay, it's not like you started the topic in the first place or whatever. Well, next up, he hangs out with his sister and meets her bestie along the way. And during this meetup, her bestie's like, whoa, you glowed up good. It's like you're a Baki character. Hey, that's what I said. And during this meetup, his sister is even hooking them up like, hey, don't you guys remember when you said you were gonna marry each other? And they're like, what? No way, that's crazy. And as they're about to leave, she basically tells him that he is her type. She compliments his height and tells him how she likes looking up, and that is something his sister noticed. So when they went home, she said, yeah, she definitely wants you, bro. What? Nah, she's just a friend. Yeah, but didn't you used to have a crush on her? Yeah, but that was a long time ago, so don't worry about it. But while he was having a good time, his mood changed because when they went home, he sees their mom talking with another man, to which he gets angry about. Now you're probably wondering the same question that he's having. Who the hecky wecky is this middle-aged man? Oh, well, let me tell you, he's a dad's best friend who took care of them during the 3 years that he was gone. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, to be fair, it must be hard to live when you suddenly lose 2 of your family members, right? And also, look at how happy his mom and sister are. He must have treated them well, huh? Oh, and he's nice too. He's being very hospitable towards Michelle and hoping the best for him and his career. Surely, he's changed his mind about him. No, he's still pissed off. In fact, we now learn that he is mad that his stepmom and stepsister are both happy. Bro, I need you to hear this from me again. Come here. You left them for 3 years. That was your choice. Anyways, moving on. His sister messed up because she swapped her phone with her besties, and seeing that she still has a broken leg, she tells Michael to go and do the delivery swap. And while walking there, he is still not over the whole old man thing and acts all depressed. Later on, he meets his sister's bestie again, who then invites him to go drink in her house, and she asks him, "Hey, are you alright? You look depressed." "Yeah, no, I'm fine. Hey, do you think you would go for any man when you are lonely?" And she's like, that's an interesting question. I guess I like it if... Actually, you know what? I don't care. And he immediately swoops in for a kiss. Now, obviously, she goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And then he asks her if she wants to sleep with him. "Excuse me, sir, calm the f down." To which she gets all flustered because, come on, what the hell is this? But he took that blush of confusion as a green light and goes on the offensive again. And it wasn't until he started taking off her clothes where she snapped out of it and pushed him away. And after begging him to stop, he finally lets it go and went back home. And when he goes home, first thing he does is ask his sister about the old man again. Dude, seriously, let it go. You literally have no right to get angry. She literally said that they would be homeless if it weren't for him. You were off in the land of Donald Trump. So anyways, next day comes, he has a flirty moment with his stepmom again, realizing that there's nothing to worry about. Except that there is, because later his sister calls him out to her room and she throws a book at him because guess what? She finds out about what happened the night before with her bestie, and rightfully, she gets pretty pissed off. Her own family just did something terrible to her best friend, so she goes, "How could you do that to her?" And he goes, am I not allowed to? What? No! You're not! Now I'll say this, I don't think he is completely to blame. He made a move towards a girl who previously flirted with him, and his sister even gave him hints that she might like him. Now does that make it okay? Probably not. But I have to say that the fact that he stopped when she wanted him to stop shows that he's not that bad of a dude and just made a big stupid mistake. So when you mess up, next thing you do is apologize, right? Well, you have to remember that the author is probably 12 years old, because instead he presses back on her, telling her that she's overreacting, and she goes on to say, "Listen man, she's been having a hard time with sexual harassment, and now one of the only guys she's trusted just broke that trust. Don't you have any empathy?" And he's like, empathy? Then why didn't she just call the police? And fucking boom, slap them across the face. And I don't think anyone would disagree with her in that decision. And he's like, "Wow, really sis? I mean, it must be because I'm not your real brother, but I didn't think she was more important than me." Bitch, shut the fuck up! And the mom, who heard all of this commotion, ran up and asked him what happened, but he just walked away and went straight to his best friend's Diddy house again, where he has a full-on going with Bona and Bona's friend. Yeah man, I gotta say, this is the best way to cope with your stress. Then after that ugly fest, he goes home late at night where he unexpectedly sees his stepmom still awake, crying from being that worried about him, plus 6 money points. And his first response to that kindness is to slap her hand away and berate her for having another man enter the house. Holy hell, what a loser. Imagine being this much of a piece of shit that you made your mom depressed just for having contact with another man. A man who is his dad's best friend who took care of them while you were off in Epstein Island because they would be homeless without his help. Yes, Michael, that room you are cowering in right now wouldn't even exist for you. Then his stepsister finds out that the mom's been crying and obviously starts to snap, demanding for his brother's head. No, that is not a sex joke. And his stepmom, despite being hurt, didn't want to inflict any more pain in the household, so she just endures it by herself and tells her to just let it go. And not a fan of the leniency, but that kind-hearted action deserves another mom point. Later that night, she starts drinking again, crying her heart out about missing her late husband. Now Mr. Loser goes out to get a drink and sees his stepmom knocked out in the dinner room. Regretting how harsh she was, he tried to wake her up to bring her to her bedroom, and she wakes up and she goes, "Oh," and immediately hugs him, thinking that her husband came back from the dead. And he's like, "Aww, she still misses my dad after all. Fine, I guess I'll use this opportunity to pretend to be him." Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of doujins and manhwas with mommy storylines, and there are multiple cliches in how the relationship comes to be. But in my opinion, this is one of the cliches I hate the most, because not only is it scummy, it also leaves a bad taste in my mouth because ultimately, she's doing it not because she loves you, but because she loves the person that she thinks you are. But I will say that this guy is kind of a freak. I mean, this dude is enjoying role-playing as his dad. And also, I mean, yeah, this is the best action scene so far. But of course, the mommy herself doesn't think so, as she woke up sober and thought that she messed up big time. Just like in the first chapter, she doesn't remember what happened last night, so she tries her best to remember it while washing the dishes. But before she could finish her thoughts, Michael Richards comes in and hugs her from behind. And that shock face she makes, plus 2 mommy points. Actually, you have no right to be surprised, ma'am. I mean, this position is too perfect. You're just asking to be pounced at this point. And I find it so funny that now Michael is all chill again. Oh, I get it, dude. You get to have the MILF of your dreams, so now all the anger and rage that you felt in your life has completely disappeared. You know what they say, a mommy a day keeps the depression away. And she's like, by the way, last night, did we... Oh yeah, you were in freaky freak mode, baby. That was awesome. What? No, that's not awesome. I still haven't forgotten your dad. Oh, don't worry about that. From now on, I'll replace Dad whenever you need me. Jesus Christ, this is genuinely nightmare fuel. He goes for the attack to recreate last night, and obviously she pushed him away, which makes this the second time that a woman has rejected his advances, all in the span of 3 chapters. One more time and you're gonna be in a generational aura depth, man. But then he gets sad, starts sulking, and then cries like a baby. I'm sorry, mommy. I didn't know you were having such a hard time. I shouldn't have done any of this. None of this is your fault. All of this is my fault for being such a loser. Well, you got that right. I should have been the one dead, not him. You need him more than you need me. Don't say that, my little sweetheart. I love you so very much. What should I do, Mom? I can't shake these horrible, terrible thoughts in my head. Do you want me to give you a whoa, wait, huh? I know this is a Manhwa, but like, this is the most shameless use of porn logic that I have ever seen. And it feels a little weird because prior to this, you would think this is one of those Manhwas that would focus more on the story. If they were to use this line in a manhwa like Panty Note or Regress Warrior, I would get it, because these are manhwas that are comedic and requires you to use none of your brain. They are purely brain rot gooning. But now, I don't even know what you're trying to do. Are you trying to make a good story, or do you just simply don't give a shit? Anyways, let's move on. He meets up and apologizes to his sister. He hangs out with his stepmom again, showing off a few monologues here and there, where she then starts slowly opening up to him and accepts his advances, and she starts making this face around him more often. He even apologized to his sister's bestie. I mean, took you a while, but better late than never. And now, we start the arc where his stepsister starts to crush on him, and I have no interest in this at all. And no, it's not just because of my bias towards mommies. Again, I still like good romances between people of the same age, but this one is just extremely boring. It's typical, it has no sauce, they don't even feel like they should be liking each other, blah 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 blah. Let's move on to the mommy again, woo! And by this point, I actually realized that I kinda like this manhwa. Yes, the previous writing was terrible, but through the power of this one mommy alone, I think this manhwa stopped being unbearable and actually became something that I enjoy reading. Seeing the romance between these two develop and how crazy in love both of them start to become starts to feel like the previous terrible writing was worth going through. Because now we get to see more of just an insanely good, high quality MILF that I would put up there my S-tier waifus. And because of this S-tier waifu, the manhwa bumped itself up from being an unbearable torture to a pretty good time with how nice everything is. So I guess, yeah, we found our answer. Turns out that it doesn't matter how bad the manhwa is, as long as the mommy is amazing, it can overturn almost anything into gold. Well, that wraps it up, folks. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to keep reading these next 10 chapters left and enjoy myself. I says with joy. I was then shot 50,000 times. Because afterwards, Michael Jordan then went into a nightmare where he sees his biological mom dying in her hospital bed while his dad is next to her, having an affair with his now stepmom. And he wakes up with pure terror and she's like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, I just had this dream of my ex-mom staring at me with depression because she sees my dad playing Mario Brothers with you. But don't worry about it, it was just a weird dream." Huh, that is a weird dream. Man, that is so weird. I don't even know how you got that dream. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to my room. Nighty-night. Nighty-night.
Oh, straight red. Ramos is off. Well, consider that.
Wait! VAR! We gotta get back into VAR-verse. I mean, maybe she's not the one at fault. We don't know the whole story. Maybe she did nothing wrong. Okay, fine. Let's review it real quick. So flashback starts, Mommy was out in a hospital treating her daughter's broken arm, where she so happens to meet Michael's dad crying and finds out that he's here because of his terminally ill wife. And seeing him all happy, got her curious. So in a way to comfort him, she offers a drink to him, which started their relationship, including where these two started getting closer to him. And as they got closer, he starts smiling more often, and although the smile wasn't directed at her, that beaming love coming from his face is what gave her the strength to keep moving forward in life. But then, as she went to his room to say goodbye, she overhears him confessing that he is indeed in love with her, to his currently dying wife. And she was shocked by this, because it turns out that the smile he's had was directed towards herself this entire time. So she hugs him, asks if she can replace his wife, and then they get it on. I mean...
He's seen. And he's going to give him a yellow card. And that seems about right to me.
I don't really feel good about the decision, so let me explain my reasoning. I am one to always blame the cheater over the instigator. She may have given him the motivations, but at the same time, he's the one who decided to commit the sin. And I mean, come on. Did you have to do it in front of her? While she's dying? Listen, I'm all up for having an audience, but there is just a certain limit. You just don't cross it when you're being watched by a child or a dying/dead person. And you violated both of them! And look, I may have given him most of the blame, but don't mistake that with her getting nothing. That is 30 minus mommy points. And from here, everything goes downhill. In fact, it's so bad that I struggle a lot trying to hold in my laughter. Alright, so first it started when he realized that mommy's been avoiding him, which he found weird not knowing that she did it to stop herself from hurting him. But he wanted to go back to when they were happy together again, and so he confessed his love to her. Dun dun dun! His stepsister overheard it and ran away. So he looked for her to try to talk to her, but then she kicked him down and then kissed him. And she's like, I was just jealous. Why do I like my own brother? And he's like, aw, don't worry sis. People might criticize you, but I won't. After all, we're family, aren't we? Not gonna lie, this is probably the worst time to ever mention the fact that you are related. I mean, personally, I think this is top 5 lines that ruins the entire mood, but again, hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm the weird one. So they go home, reassures their mom that everything is fine, and they promise each other to never speak about it or do it ever again. Remember this part, okay? So story moves on, and mommy decides to tell him about what happened, but while she was struggling to get it out, he's like, aw, I love you, mommy, so don't worry. Whatever happens, I'll always be by your side. But will you be able to forgive me? Of course I'll forgive you, so don't worry. Well, I while watching your dying in the You what? I can't believe you. How could you do something like that? I hate you! I will never be by your side ever again! Even though I just said the complete opposite 10 seconds ago. And like, I mean, I can't really blame him. That is pretty fucked up. So he runs away, and this is unironically the funniest manhwa panel I have ever seen. Why does he fall like that? After that Looney Tunes ass moment, he runs to his stepsister and immediately breaks the promise that they just had a day ago. And she's like, wait, but we promised. Just one more time, please. Okay. And so they bone. But he made sure to leave the door open and made as much noise as possible so that the mommy can hear it. So the next day when his sister left, she's like, please take your anger out on me, but just leave my daughter out of it. And he's like, oh, so now you're jealous. What? No, I'm worried about my daughter. Oh, so you're not jealous. Oh, okay, I'm more pissed off now. I mean, of course I'm jealous. Grr, I wish so badly that was me last night. Okay, do your best. And this scene is so uncomfortable, and he's like, is this how you my dad too? Walks away from her and says, don't even bother. No matter what you do, I won't ever forgive you. And I cannot lie, she kinda deserves that. Then he gets a phone call from the old man. Hey, remember that guy? I did. And they meet up and he gives him all of his dad's inheritance money because he sold the company. And he's like, what? What about my mom? And he's like, oh, it turns out your mom and dad aren't actually legally married. And he's like, huh, really? And runs back home to find her. But why? Why does that give you the urge to go back to her? I don't get it. Like, this is the one decision that I actually understood from you. Seriously, out of all 50 chapters, this is the only one I support. But now that you found out they never married, it's okay? Because you now know that she felt guilty? But you already know about that anyway. She cried to you twice. Anyways, he goes back home, couldn't find anyone and anything except for a letter telling him that the mommy is off to quit the game. And the next page shows her just as she's about to jump. And the next page right after that, he's there to stop her. I did not edit any of that. Let me repeat again. These sequences on the screen are in order. This is unironically how the manhwa was laid out. Do you guys understand how awful this layout is? This makes it look like he just teleported there. This is amateur work! Anyways, they start talking. She gives her sad backstory, which honestly doesn't really matter anymore. And he's like, hey, I love you. I really do. But I'm sorry. I don't think I can forgive you. Which is sad, but I get it. I think this is a mature decision that he's made, and I can't say that I really blame him. And the mommy understands that too. But then... this is so fucking stupid! What is this? This is grade school. Are you in kindergarten? Bro, look at this. Look! They actually made this transition. You cannot tell me that this isn't a comedy. This setup is something Bo Burnham would come up with. And I'm so distracted by this terrible transition that I didn't even process what's actually happening here. So you just said that you can't forgive her, but then you decide to do this? Who is writing this shit? I mean, I know it's you, but who are you? Did you go to school? Why would a man entangle with the woman he can't forgive? Like, that is top 5 of things you don't do when you can't forgive someone. On top of wall climbing. So anyways, after that stupid ass action scene, he realized that this is ruining the family and tries to fix it the only way that he can. And that is by going back to the US and leaves his family again. This motherfucker. And now they time skip to 7 years where the stepsister now has a husband, leaves to a different place, which makes the mommy live alone. But then she opens the door and surprise! It's Michael Jackson! What? He's back from the dungeon where he keeps all his children. And man, this ending really tastes like toilet water. This entire story just feels like a waste. To call it rush would be a heavy understatement because that usually refers to the last chapter speeding up things to the point that you get confused. But the thing is, it feels like it's always been rushing. So really, this manhwa is just shit. For example, I feel like a lot of times the main character's relationship with the girls and the girls themselves are heavily undercooked. Hey, remember that girl we got in the beginning who they said looked like the mommy but actually doesn't? Yeah, me neither. Because right in the middle of the manhwa, she got in trouble with her dad and then he decided to send her out to Paris or whatever. And then we never see her in the story again. I don't know why that's so funny to me. You are hereby sentenced to life in France! No! I also feel like the author just tries too hard to make everything depressing. And a lot of the times, it don't even make no sense. Let's go back to Bona again because she gets it the worst. Now the chapters prior to this, we can see that she isn't really right in the head. Or at the very least, she's different to most people and kind of in an unhealthy way. Well, it turns out that dad's been abusive because her mom was a concubine who gave birth to Bona out of wedlock, which led her to check out early.
Jesus Christ.
And you would expect that there's gonna be some sort of conclusion to this, but no. She just gets banished to France. So really, she's a character who solely existed for the main character to have a casual fling with, which is just so unsatisfying. Because she's not even a good one! He does her because she looks like the mommy, which she doesn't. He likes her because she's convenient, his best friend's girlfriend by the way. And he f***s her because she's seductive, which she's not. Because did you know that she told her entire backstory right before her final ever action scene in the manhwa? Yes, including this part. Oh yeah man, nothing gets me going more than a side story. This shit is so sad. She's so sad. The story is sad. She doesn't even tell her boyfriend that she's leaving because that's how shallow their relationship is. And the only person that she can confide with is this guy who didn't do anything! Which I understand if you can't, because it's not any of your business, but at least fucking say something! He literally drops his load and just watches her leave! What was the point in any of that? I feel like I'm having a stroke. This is some of the worst writing I've ever read, and it simply did not need to be. They could have easily made this so much more simple, and I'm sure this manhwa would be 10 times better. But it's like they try to take as much on their plates as possible, not realizing that they only have 2 hands each. If you're going to make an intricate story within the span of 50 chapters, make one that can be told in 50 chapters. It's like you tried to make another Brave New World, but that manhwa lasted nearly a decade, so it made much more sense. You guys don't even get half of that. So what you get is an extremely unsatisfying story with extremely unsatisfying characters that are extremely underdeveloped, and a manhwa that is extremely miserable to read. If I have to give this a score, I would say that this is seriously one of the worst manhwas I have ever read. But at the same time, I did actually enjoy like 30 to 40% of it when things were actually wholesome. Because seriously, this mommy, pre-finding out what she actually did, is super duper S tier. Like, out of all the mommies and manhwas I have read, she was up there with how well she captured the perfect vibes of a MILF. But then, they added that stupid flashback, and everything is ruined. And even then, I still think if you just did one minor tweak, it still could have easily been salvaged. You could have made them not do it there when someone is fighting cancer. That should be easy. You can also make it so then she was actually trying to fight her feelings instead of actually coming on to him and not say this awful ass line. That's a very simple change. But no, you just had to make things more sad. Oh no, I get it, dude. You think that that is cinema. I feel like talking to a Zack Snyder fan who associates dark and gritty with being realistic, which somehow correlates it to being good. Newsflash, buddies. This isn't good. It's actually the opposite. I mean, at the very least, I can have fun making fun of this manhwa when it's being bad. But when I think about all the wasted potential, about how good this manhwa could have been, and how they wasted an entirely perfectly crafted mommy, I just get really upset. So unfortunately, this is one of those cases where the cons heavily outweighs the pros. So I'm going to give Is It Your Mother or Your Sister a 3 out of 10. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for being late with my usual 2 weeks per video schedule, but hey, this video is long, okay? Give me a break. Also, I've been busy moving into Indonesia, and now I think I am finally set up pretty well, which is why I'm here to announce that I will be streaming. And I know, I've been saying that the past 2 videos, but seriously, this time I'm actually going to stream. Like, tomorrow. Yeah, sure, we can do tomorrow. I don't see why not. So go and catch me on live in this Twitch account and this YouTube channel. And if you wanna not miss that, then check out my Instagram and Twitter, where I am still pretty active, where you can see me being stupid and sometimes drop reviews there every now and again. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to sleep and eat some bakso.